everyone, Lynda here, the scrapbooking photographer. Welcome to my channel and thanks for stopping by. I haven't filmed anything for a little while. Life gets in the way sometimes, but today I am combining two hops. One is for Stamping Like It's Hot, which is a monthly hop run by Briana Spores from My Life on Paper. And this month our challenge for that hop is to stamp a title. So I have my Havana alphabet from Close to My Heart ready to use on a Christmas layer, which will fit in with the challenge for the paper crafting YouTubers hop for Dreamy December. So my photo that I'm going to use is from the mid to late 60s when I was just a small one. I wasn't keen on Santa at all apparently. Mum has told me this story several times, and you can see that Santa has hold of my arm, so there's no way I'm going anywhere until that photo has been taken, but I'm standing at arm's length as far away as I can get. So this will be going into my heritage album. I'm going to also mix it with some of the Stampin' Up! New scrapbooking range from the Reindeer Memories pack. So some of those will go on here. I've got a piece of vellum and I've got a black background to start with, which I will make into a frame. Now the sketch I'm using is inspired by Brenda Rose from My Paper Crafting Life, which I found on Pinterest. So let's see how we go. The first thing I'm going to do is just use some of this gloss spray, the white one, just as splashes. So I've got my splatter box out. I'm just going to tap it off with the fairly weighty paintbrush that I've got here. I can use both hands, but it seems to be better to tap with my right hand while I'm holding the nozzle in the left hand. I am left-handed. Interesting how you get more comfortable with one hand than the other with these things. So this is a layout going into my heritage album, as I mentioned. So I want these white dots just to soften the black a little bit. I'll also cut out the middle once this is dry. I think I'm going to try it as a little bit of a mount. Put a little bit in the middle as well. Okay, I'll just pop that over to dry. For our highlight piece that's going on top of the black, I have cut 1/2 inch off two sides, so that's going to give us a 1/4 inch frame around the outside. And I want this to go here, but I want to texturize the background a little bit and have it look like wood grain. I don't have any actual wood grain paper in this toning at the moment, so I'm going to use a technique that I saw on YouTube, probably a couple of years ago now, and it's merely using the scoreboard at various distances, and I'm sorry I can't remember who first did this. It's probably been done several times by different people since. But if you score randomly, you get the ridges on the back like that. And then I'll just put the scoreboard away. Using just the ink pad, I'm going to start at one end and come down right across, whoops, nice and smoothly. Now you can see that that isn't that smooth, but that's okay because I think I'm going to have to cut some of it off for my title area. So that is going to then bring this in here. And you can see it just kind of helps to blend it a little bit better. I'll just give this a quick wet with the dryer. Okay, it's pretty dry. So now I'm going to cut the middle out of here. Okay, so we've got our black frame all dry. Now, as I say, I think I'm going to have to trim some of this. So I'll trim this so that we've got about 1 inch of a border all the way around. Right, so as I mentioned before, this where the ink pad got stuck a bit, it doesn't really matter, but I do want to stamp a title down there, so I'm going to trim it about here. Now obviously this bit has the markings on the back, so I'll use that in something else. Scraps never go to waste. And I've got a new piece here which I will trim the equal size off to put in the bottom there. Right, so I think we can stick those down and then, or stick these back two down, and then we'll cover this join and build up some embellishments. I hope you get a chance to look at the other videos in both these hops. It'll be interesting to see how other people interpret the Dreamy December prompt for the paper crafting YouTubers, and also the different titles that people stamp. It always amazes me when I watch the rest of the videos how other people think up things that I never even thought of. So this is going to be down the bottom for our title. For some reason it doesn't look quite right, but anyway, there we go. So they're both stuck. Now I'm going to bring in a strip of Christmassy sticky along here. Just a decision as to which one. I think the tree's going to come up on that side, and we might put the deer and the other tree on the other side. So will we use the deer or the holly? I quite like the deer because there isn't too much white on it. Now we don't need a lot either because most of these things are going to be covered. So we'll trim a little bit off. Let's go to the edge. Yeah. And the same at the other side, and that will leave us a good amount if we want to carry on and do the companion page in the same style. We've still got bits left over that we can use, which I think is probably quite good practice, because there's nothing worse than coming to do a companion page and having to scribble with the things to make it look as though it's meant to be. This is a die cut, so it doesn't have any sticky on it, so I can kind of place that where I want it, which is fine. And that little bit of white helps to balance these areas of white, so that looks quite good and covers this funny table thing. I'm not quite sure what that is. And then over this side we'll put the deer on. We'll fiddle with that once we've got everything else stuck down. So we'll stick the photo down. Let's get the placing right again. I don't want to cover up too much of that wood grain, and it also serves as a guide to get things nice and straight. So that's good. And then we can put the tree in. I always find embellishing things a little bit of a challenge, mainly because it takes time to make the embellishments, let alone think at them up first. So I have actually joined a group of embellishment swaps for that reason, to give me practice at making them, and also to receive some that others have made, so I don't have to think about it all the time. But we've only just swapped out Christmas one, so I don't have anything to add from here at this stage. Now the reason I've chosen that sticker is because it doesn't have the white around the outside. Some of these are all outlined with white, which I don't want on this page. This one isn't, so I might be able to use him somewhere just to add an extra layer. Okay, now my title is going to come down here. So let's see if it fits. Hope you're all getting ready for Christmas. It's of course it might not be Christmas while you're watching this if it's later, but at the time of filming this it's the beginning of December, so there's plenty of Christmas preparation going on around the place. So that will be dear. Now I'm using candy apple from Close to My Heart, mainly because I'm not stamping on white. So if I was stamping on white, I'd probably use scarlet or a darker red to go with these little pops of red around the place. But using candy apple on the grey cardstock will probably give us more of a matching tone. I'll just bring the board in because it's always good to stamp on the back of something spongy, just to give you a little bit of give. Make sure we've got all the ink covered, but none on the block itself, which it looks like we have. So I'll just give that a little bit of a wipe so we don't transfer any of it onto the layout. And once it goes down, you're committed because you don't want it blurry. So I'll just line up the centre. Of course I need 2 A's, so I'll have to re-stamp the last A. Again, making it nice and deep and checking for marks. There's a little bit there. And trying to even it up so that we get it reasonably level with the dear word. I'm going to use the A again, and I'm going to put it on a smaller block because it's always a good idea to use the smallest block possible just to be able to manoeuvre it and have a little bit more control when you've only got one letter to do. We need that to kind of line up there. So just to add a couple of finishing touches, I'm going to use these little stars. You can see there the 2 tones of the new scrapbooking paper that's coming from Stampin' Up. So it's called Real Red, and it's got the dark side and then the lighter side. So I'm just going to put a couple of these on here. I'll put 3 there and 1 on that side just to give it a little pop of red. And I've also got a few stars left over in the candy apple, so I'm going to just pop those down around here. And my final thing I'm going to do is add just a little bit of journaling, and I'm going to use the same cardstock as we used down the bottom. Well, we used it all over, but the plain cardstock, and just make a couple of little strips out of the leftovers. And if I can just use 5 or 3 because of our odd numbered preference. I think 3 is probably quite good. So I'll journal first and then I'll stick them on. I think that's the best way to go there. Oh, I've lost a star. Oh no, I haven't stuck them down. Silly me. So I'll just pop those down. 1, 2, 1 over there. So is this a dreamy Christmas? Perhaps I'm dreaming of Christmases past. That is my contribution to this month's YouTube Hot for paper crafting YouTubers, and also for Stamp It Like It's Hot. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please take a screenshot if you'd like to copy it. As I say, there's lots of inspiration on Pinterest, and that's where this sketch came from. So have a look, have fun, and happy crafting, everyone.